up not long ago and I just ate and I just wanted to make a video about body shaming. Um, I have been keeping up with the trends a lot on Instagram when it comes to body positivity. You see a lot more plus size models, a lot more curvy models, models of different sizes other than the standard stick thin model or whatever. And you just see a lot more people protesting and urging for more inclusive advertisement for natural everyday women. Now, I have the definition of body shaming here. And basically, I just want to touch on what it is, how I feel about it, why it exists, what's going on around it, all of these things. Hopefully, it is helpful for someone. Um, my point with these videos is to uplift people and to help you understand that all these standards, all these beauty standards and stuff put into play is very is a bunch of bullshit basically, and it's based on this ideal of perfectionism that doesn't exist, that everyone can't even fit this mold that is, you know, that people are trying to fit these days. But yeah, so body shaming is the action or practice of humiliating someone by making, mocking, or critical comments about their body shape or size. And a lot of why this happens in our society is because of beauty standards. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, what we see on TV, social media, everything around us, we are. I always talk about how we're only shown the three top beauty standards ever. Like they might show blonde hair, blue eyes, brunette, skinny, all of them skinny, very light skinned girls, whatever the case may be. They only show you a handful of beauty standards on television, and everyone expects to live up to these standards of what beautiful is. They even start picking icons like Kim Kardashian, Beyonce, even all these people that we love, and now everyone is supposed to, want to have it can work both ways because people can be body shamed and being too skinny too. But I'll get to it. Initially, body shaming was for, I feel like, curvier girls or bigger girls, and because we didn't fit the mold that they were showing, especially like the we didn't fit runway models. But what a lot of people don't understand is that the average everyday woman does not look like a runway model. So killing ourselves over trying to achieve this ideal that even the runway models don't even look like themselves, without makeup, without prep, without like not eating, without Photoshop even, um, is really harmful to our health and well-being. The media, social media, and the internet, every TV and everything makes it feel like this beauty standard is out there more than it is, meaning it'll have you thinking that the majority of women look a certain way when they don't. When the average woman looks like a variety of things, it's like having a garden full of different types of flowers. But we fall into the trick of believing that we're all supposed to have like slim waist. And the beauty standards change throughout history. It like a lot of what doesn't change a lot of times though is like the hourglass figure. Sometimes they still do want people to look more European than anything. Things of that nature. um, I feel like when I first noticed, I'm gonna get more into body shaming, but beauty standards in general. I first noticed beauty standards existed when I tried to do alternative modeling. And it was funny because I went to alternative modeling hoping to be more accepted, but even within that, they have beauty standards, meaning they want the cookie cutter looking girls. The site that I was trying to model on at the time didn't even take that many tattooed girls at the time. So you just have people who have this ideal of what works for them, what doesn't. But sometimes people hold the same standard of beauty because it's kind of pushed down our throats all the time. So we start thinking, oh, what's wrong with us? Because we don't look like these people, and there's nothing wrong with us. We're actually natural women or natural men, um, and we've been tricked to thinking that everything is wrong with us. So we try to change by whatever means necessary, surgery, makeup, which all these things can be used as self-expression, like makeup and things like that. But we start going to the extremes, so like working out every day, making sure we don't eat too much, things like that. But we don't realize that all bodies aren't built the same. Um, some people have curves, some people are skinny, and it's okay to be different in that way. We don't have to fit this body standard. But basically, body shaming is like shaming anyone who doesn't fit this beauty standard. I'm trying not to ramble the same, talking about the same things. But originally, I feel like it was for, curvier girls. But you can even see it vice versa with curvy and heavy girls. They shame skinny girls, I feel like, too, as well. And you just have a bunch of people who like pick a standard and they try to like say, oh, you need to fit this. But everyone's not meant to fit a certain role. Everyone has their own body standard. And I feel like the whole point of trying to get rid of body shaming is understanding that there's a variety and multitude of different types of people and women, and that beauty comes in more than one shape, size, and color. Again, it's like the garden of like we've all been taught that roses are the only beautiful thing in the world. But what about the sunflowers, the tulips, lilies? All these things are beautiful in their own right. It's the same with bodies. We've also been tricked to thinking that there are some men or women who don't like thick girls, curvy girls, girls who are fat, or girls who actually are fat, or too skinny, girls who are too skinny. We start worrying ourselves to death because of these body shaming and because of these beauty standards. We start thinking we have to conform, and if we don't, then we'll never find a boyfriend or a girlfriend to love us. And that is what we're taught, and that's why people like bust their ass at the gym every day. I know it's healthy to work out and things like that and to eat right, but some of us go to such an extreme that our happiness is compromised at the end of the day. All of what we're doing is for other people and not ourselves. Like I guarantee if people weren't worrying about how they look to other people, they would not be in the some people wouldn't be in the gym every day, wouldn't be eating a little bit of food that they eat, wouldn't be trying to, wear makeup all day every day. Instead they would be living more for themselves and their happiness. But I think the false belief is that we won't find people who will like us for us. But you better believe that there are people who like thick girls, curvy girls, fat girls, skinny girls. There's people who like all ranges of types of women. But the key is to love yourself for you first. And then it sounds cliche, but then you can find someone who loves you for you. Because if you're not comfortable, if you're always at this battle with yourself, which we're taught to be at this battle since a very young age, if you're anything like me too, I had a mother who always picked at my weight. It never seemed good enough. So even to this day, I have body issues. I never know. My relationship to food is very hit or miss. One day I'll like food, one day I won't. um, but yeah, it's a constant struggle. But we have to learn how to love our own bodies the way it is, and understand that we are not designed to be like someone, especially someone on TV or the magazines. And we really have to own who we are, how we look, our own curves, our own body. Something that I struggle with is understanding that I am a thicker figured person and I am curvier. And the more I get older, the curvier I get. Um, and my relationship to food is changing because when I was younger, I would never eat. At times, I would never eat. But now I basically don't miss a meal. So, of course, my body is adjusting to that difference. Now, it seems to me like I'm bigger when I'm really eating like I'm supposed to eat. I don't think people understand things like that as well. Um, I think a big part of it is accepting yourself. Of course, if you, it is ideal to want to be healthy for yourself, as well, but kind of think of why you're doing a lot of these things. Is it for yourself or for other people? Things like that. But yeah, understand that you don't have to fit to this one mold or this ideal, and that beauty standards exist. The next video I am posting is about Eat, Pray, Love. I finally watched that movie. I think it's been out forever, but something that I like that I took from that movie is that like it's okay to eat, because it was a phrase he said that was like, um you know, has the man ever told you to leave when you're naked in front of him? And the girl was like, that she was asking was like, no. And she was like, no, because you're naked and he's won the jackpot. And that kind of stuck with me because I was like, man, we're always, a lot of us can get very frantic over how much we eat throughout the day. We forget to enjoy our food. And then it always seems like it's in relation to what other people want and not what we want. So we don't enjoy pizza at times. We don't enjoy sweets or whatever the case may be. And I am a big believer in balance, meaning it's not quite good to eat bad stuff all the time, but it's not quite good to just always be perfect. Um, it's kind of like a balance in life to everything. But that kind of stuck with me and made me realize that we don't really enjoy our food as we should sometimes, and dabble in tasting different things and things of like that nature. Because especially if you grew up anything like me, you kind of have a bad relationship to food and weight. It's a big problem. But once you learn to accept yourself, which you can do by not comparing yourself to others. A lot of what's bad about social media is that we unconsciously compare ourselves to others all day, every day, meaning our weight to another person's weight, how our waist looks to someone else's waist, how our hair looks to someone else's hair, our facial features to other people's features. And we judge upon the likes. And what we don't realize is that you that's false reality. Not only is it false reality, is that you can't judge based on likes because that person may have the ability or may have been seen by someone who has a larger crowd that allowed them to get to more people to get more likes while you're just, haven't been discovered yet online. That doesn't mean you're not beautiful. But still, it's still a trap to compare yourself to others based upon that. Because the the fuck internet and stuff is very a false reality basically, and we would drive ourselves crazy trying to be perfect, and half the time these people online aren't perfect themselves, meaning um yes, that some people might have these certain bodies, but what are they doing to get these types of bodies? Would you be willing to do as much as they do to get these bodies? Or do you want to love yourself for who you are? A lot of what I want to learn how to do is accept my body for how it is, but tone it, for example. So not change it to match someone else, like be as skinny as I was when I was a teenager, because I don't feel like that's gonna happen. Um, but simple things like that, like I feel like that is a more healthier viewpoint than trying to be this thin stick figure since you're like 12. Some people can maintain, kudos to those people, but for those of you who, you have to understand that you are who you are, and start accepting and loving yourself who you are. But yeah, I feel like I'm repeating myself, whatever. But yeah, hopefully you guys understand this video. Hopefully it's helpful or insightful. Peace.